Call to order the regular meeting of the Dale City City Council for October 16th, 2023. Melissa, would you call the roll, please?
Councilman Gandy.
Here.
Councilwoman Brown.
Here.
Councilwoman Finch.
Here.
Councilman Dean.
Here.
And Mayor Eason.
Mayor is here. All right. Councilman Dean, would you bring the invocation? Would you rise for the invocation, please?
Lord, we come to you tonight in appreciation and gratefulness for all that you've given to us. Lord, we pray for all of our military here and around the world, as there's many different worldwide conflicts going on that causes concern and heartaches for all of them. Lord, we pray for our first responders, that you be with them and keep them safe. And Lord, we thank you for all the people in the city that do wonderful things for us, both our employees and also all the volunteers. And tonight, Lord, we pray that you be with us as we make decisions on the behalf of the city, that there be in the best interest of everyone. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Ron, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? You may be seated. We have a proclamation concerning Halloween and trick-or-treating. I'll read now. Halloween recognition. Whereas the City of Dale City designates Tuesday, October 31st, 2023 as the official date for Halloween. Now therefore I, Floyd A. Eason, Mayor of the City of Dale City, do hereby recognize and declare Tuesday, October 31st, 2023 as the official Halloween night, and as a matter of policy, the official hours for trick-or-treating shall exist from sundown to 9:30 p.m. Witness my hand as mayor of the City of Dale City, affixed in the City of Dale City, Oklahoma, on this 16th day of October, 2023. Trick-or-treating Tuesday night. Okay, but we're having our trunk or treat on Saturday. Brittany, what's the date on Saturday? 28th? Saturday, what are the hours? 4 to 9. Okay, 4 to 9 trunk or treat at Dale City High School, and it's going to be the biggest and best one yet. Last year we had about 5,000 people. Shooting for 5 this year. Got it. All right, good job. All right, moving along. Is there anybody that would like to address the council on a non-agenda item? Sir, would you step to the podium, state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes. Thinking about other things. Yeah. can look into that. All right. Mhm. We're, we're familiar with that, and we're actually in the process. Mhm. 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 Okay, hold on just a second. Hold on. Okay, you're not wrong. However, how many ordinances are we upgrading and updating on this 20-year plan? How many ordinances are we doing?
I couldn't tell you.
Ballpark, just
Joe,
ballpark it.
Dozens,
Over
if not
100?
over 100.
Where? Okay, we're done. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Mhm. 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 All right, got it. Is there anybody else that would like to address the council on non-agenda items? We couldn't have a meeting without you, Ron. Mhm. Mhm. Very good.
Sorry. Second thing is a quick reminder, tomorrow night, from 5 to 8, you all need to come down to McDonald's.
Shop with a cop.
Shop with the Cop fundraiser. We're gonna have apple and pumpkin pies.
Sweet.
Yeah, $5 a piece, and the discard cards, $5 a piece. But if you buy 5, it's only $20.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know that math don't add up, but a little incentive. So come on down, and I don't know who's going to be which officer, police officer, is going to be selling the pies. If it's Camp Ward, you better buy a pie. If it's Camp Courtney, you still better buy a pie. You gotta understand, dynamite comes in small packages. So come on down, have a good time, buy some food.
And the proceeds go to Shop with the Cop, a portion of the proceeds.
The $5 that you spend on the pies and the cards all goes to the Shop of the Cop.
Very good.
A portion of the inside sales, or the sales,
From the regular
from,
business.
from the regular, right, through the
Yeah.
drive-through or inside, either one, a portion of those proceeds go to the Shop of the Cop.
All right.
So it's a worthwhile cause. I'm sure everybody here knows about it. If you don't, we'll educate you. But, yeah, please come on down and give us a hand. We're trying to get all of the Del City Neighborhood Watches together and on this, so it won't be just Del Air. It's gonna be all of us working together to a good cause. So,
Very good.
from 5 to 8,
5 to 8.
McDonald's on 29th.
And you're gonna be juggling pies. I can't wait to see that.
I'm sorry?
Never mind.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Is there anybody else that would like to address the council on non-agenda items? Brittany?
I just wanted to loop you all in on Trunk or Treat and remind residents, as you said, we're hoping that this is gonna be the biggest and best so far.
Mhm.
So that is October 28th from 4 to 9. We have made the decision to move it back into the middle lot rather than the back lot, so it
Same.
will be in the same place that
Same
it
as
was
last
last year.
Better
Yes.
lighting?
Yep. As of today, we have 15 vendors, 18 trunks, and 10 food trucks. We will have a full-size dunk tank. JD Hawk will be one of my victims. Kyle Preston from the police department. Chamber Executive Director Josh Schultz.
Yay, Josh.
And James Lim Cooler. Who wouldn't want to dunk code enforcement? So that
Really?
starts.
Wait a minute. Let's say that again. James with code enforcement is gonna be in the
Yes.
dunk tank. Man, I got a bunch of $1
We already had
bills.
students from the high school saying that they were gonna get a part-time job between now and the 28th for Kyle Preston. So everyone's super excited about that. The dunk tank starts at 4:15. They will go in 45-minute increments. So starting at 4:15, at the 15 of every hour through all 4 people, we'll get a new person in there.
What's the projected temperature that night?
Doesn't matter. Not my problem. We are doing a costume contest that will start at 6. We have 6 different categories. We'll have a trophy for the scariest, cutest, funniest, most creative, best group, and best overall. We did get actual trophies this year that are personalized for this year's event. We're super excited about those. There will be a dance party for the kids at 7. The layout will be different this year because we are going to have more.
For the kids, not for everybody?
No, you're
Asking
not
for-
invited to the dance party, JD.
He's gonna be all wet anyway.
Yeah, exactly. If you all will remember how we had it last year, when you entered from the side, we had the inflatables there and then the trunks were in the back. We're actually gonna have the trunks first
Good.
and all the inflatables down here. Since we have more, if we do it how we did it last year, everything will get lost in the sound of generators. So the
Right.
layout will be different, but we think it will be better.
Very good.
We do have 5 carnival games that we will have. We have big prizes, think fair type inflatable, 3-4 feet inflatables. Each child will receive a ticket when they enter, and that will allow them to play a game for one of those big prizes. Once they use their ticket, they can still play all the games. The prizes will just be small because the big prizes will have a limited quantity.
Can they, use the ticket on the dunk tank if
Oh,
they?
those will be separate tickets. We'll make sure
Oh, good.
everyone has plenty.
All right.
We will set up a photo op for families. I know those at home probably can't see it. I'm letting the banner de-wrinkle right now. We're actually going to personalize it and have Del City Trunk or Treat so that we can get that free marketing when people are posting their pictures on Facebook. So we're really excited about that. In the event that there is inclement weather, we will make the decision to postpone or cancel by 2 o'clock that day.
Okay.
And that's the earliest that we would make that decision. So we hope that everyone comes out. It's gonna be pretty great this year.
All right.
So
Good.
Brittany, everything is free.
Everything is free.
One thought would be is where you're bringing people in and you're going through the spot, can we look at or consider having a donation type thing for people who might want to do it for Shop with a Cop or Christmas tree events or some of the other, possible things to.
Maybe donate to the dunk tank.
Don't, it's
Yeah.
just, I think that, people realize that there's a lot of stuff that goes in and
Absolutely.
possibly throwing $5 into something wouldn't be a,
We've looked at something like that and setting out, like bringing the unions together and letting people make donations for additional tickets for things. Melissa, if I understand, as long as everyone is offered the same base for free, then there's not an issue for asking for donations. So that's definitely something that we can look at.
Okay.
Thank you.
You got a question, Ron?
Yes. Once we have that finalized, we'll let you all know where you'll be.
You're next to the dunk tank. Splash. You still need trunks?
We will still take trunks up until this Friday.
Very good.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Would you like to address the council? State your name for the city clerk, please.
My name is Latasha Watson of 3029 Katy Lane. And I think my question is more for Pam Finch because she's over our ward. In terms of housing addition, there's a patch of grass that's outside of the housing addition called Victoria's Place. And there's some residents who asked me to bring up the question, who's responsible for cutting that grass if the whole housing addition has been sold, but it's outside of everybody's property line? It's on 29th and Bryant. Well, it's in between 29th and 15th and Bryant, right outside of Katy Lane. Because across the street is Oklahoma City, and they keep it cut, but two residents take turns cutting the one outside. of
Let
the
us look
district.
into that and see who actually is in charge of mowing that.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
Is there anybody else that would like to? Hello, Josh. State your name for the city clerk, please.
Joshua Schultz, 4321 Spiva Drive. Well, I'm about to find out on the 28th how well my board likes me. Well, today, me and the mayor went to the governor's mansion, had a luncheon for Hispanic Heritage Month.
Mhm.
That was a good time. We got to sit and chat with our Oklahoma County Sheriff. This Wednesday will be our groundbreaking for Electrical Solutions of Oklahoma at 10 a.m. That is at 29th Street. It is on the property, the grass property there between HW Automotive and Physician's Choice Dialysis.
Okay.
So you'll have to drive down Bryant to the south to what is 30th Street, what is designated 30th Street, and you'll have to park there. They said that is the easiest place to go, and then just walk out onto the property. You'll see them there. You'll know where it is when you drive down, heading west on 29th Street.
Cool.
Right after that is November 2nd will be our next Coffee Connection, and that will be at Rose State College in their student union in the C Ballroom. Hoping weather is good because they have a little balcony out there and you can stand out and look out onto the campus, and so that'd be a really cool little thing we can do. But then it will be where we will have our economic development meeting just following that. Will be in that same location. And I believe that is it. Tomorrow is Delquest interviews for Del City High School, and we will have all those finalized on who makes it into Delquest that Wednesday, this Wednesday. So that is all I have, and then I guess I'll see you all in a few minutes.
All right. Thank you, Josh. Is there anybody else that would like to address the council on non-agenda items? Seeing none, Councilman Gandy.
Del City is 75 years old as of, what, 3 or 4 days ago. So happy birthday to us. I would say, the parent in me and the nurse in me says, let's be really careful on Halloween and Halloween night. Watch out for all those kids that are trick-or-treating. So,
Yep.
That's all I've got.
Councilman Brown.
I'd like to again thank Ken for being here and bringing up your concerns today. I would like to back him up and continue to ask that we keep Vicky cleaned up, and I would like to see some striping around that school zone. And there is a lot of overgrowth around the curbs there, so let's try to really keep Vicky cleaned up. Other than that, I did go to the bike summit this past weekend, and that was a really, really great time. And I do look forward to meeting up with some folks tomorrow that will get us on the right track to implementing some bike paths and some pedestrian walkways here in Dell City.
Okey-doke. Councilwoman Finch.
Already given.
Councilman Dean.
Yes, so continue with the Vicky, that's another street that we really need to finish the sidewalks on.
Mhm.
And so there's a lot of dark spots, especially down by the bridge, and that people are forced to be on the street and can be a pedestrian hazard. And then I want to thank you guys for fixing the sinkhole that was on Del Air next to the Creek Bridge. So that was repaired. A couple of things that I found out and got to experience is that there's a few jobs in the city that we kind of only have one person for, and one of them would be the animal control officer, and another would be the building inspector. And both of those jobs, whenever you need a dog catcher, you need a dog catcher. And sometimes, and the same way for building inspectors is that, waiting a long period of time for it hurts everybody. So those I'd like to see if we can get assistant ones or something to be looked into those positions.
We have
And
an
then-
assistant dog catcher one.
And then the final one is for the gentleman that brought up the laws that needs to be changing. There are some, we do have a huge amount, and we could either wait for the big bulk, gigantic book of them to be rechanged, but maybe some of them should be more urgent and maybe get those done sooner than later. Thank you.
All right. We had a police officer pass last week, Lieutenant Henry. And the city manager and I would like to observe a moment of silence for the family and the officers. And if you would, just bow your head for just a moment, and let's just have a moment of silence for Lieutenant Henry and his family. Thank you. Move on to item number 5, City Manager's Report.
Okay, a couple of big things that have hit. Myself, the mayor, vice mayor, and our economic development attorneys got to have a wonderful conversation with ODOT about what's going on with Scott Street. Everybody's smiling because that's always fun to deal with ODOT, I know. There are a lot of conversations that have gone on with what's going on with our potential sale of the property to Road Ranger. I just want to let everyone know we are working diligently on that, and we'll be giving updates in the coming days of what we've learned and what we're thinking is going to happen. Right now, we received a preliminary idea of what ODOT's planning to do with the Scott Street exits, the locations, the bridge, everything of that nature. And as we know, they're still 2028 is their time frame when they think of doing anything, so there is still subject to change. But now that we have a more definitive answer from them, we're going to look into moving forward with that. So that is coming in the coming weeks for everyone here on council. There is a Parks and Public Spaces grant that is opening with the Oklahoma City Community Foundation. So Councilwoman Brown and Vice Mayor Finch, I will be asking both of you to please help me participate in that. And that is due sometime, it's opening in November, but anything that we can do to get some extra beautification funds to be able to get the parks looking even snazzier than we've already got them is going to be great. Miss Parrott and I are going to be hosting a costume contest for all of our employees coming up on October 31. Since we're going to have a regular work day on Halloween, we decided to make it fun and interesting. And right after I decided to do that, Miss Jones and I were invited to a meeting with the bank over future loans and things of that nature. So of course I'd have to show up in costume to a meeting with that. So luckily they did postpone that. But we are going to have that happening, so please be advised if you have any business with the city on October 31st, we will hopefully all be in costume, and we will have costume contests and some fun things going on to let everybody have a good time. I see Lieutenant Reichert is very excited out there because he's going to be all dressed up, I'm sure. A few other items we've got up for... we had a joint study session, of our City Council and Planning Commission last Thursday. This was the first study session that we have performed, and I think it went incredibly well. Director Wilbanks, do you agree? I think it went incredibly well. We had our 9 planning commissioners and our 5 council members together to go over the comprehensive plan. We were able to receive quite a bit of info that we're able to give back to our consulting firm, and we greatly appreciate everyone doing that. And last but not least, we have the trunk or treat coming up that Ms. Parrott talked about, and please, if you have not signed up to participate in one way or the other, we would love to have you.
All right. City clerk's report.
We did receive the sales tax for the month, and since this time last year in October, the net sales tax has increased $4,688.35. The use tax has increased $32,093.51. The tobacco tax has decreased slightly at $338.19, and the hotel motel has decreased $2,532.72.
All right, very good. Move on to item number 6 on the consent docket. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve the following items by unanimous consent with one motion. Item A is minutes of October the 2nd, 2023 regular meeting of council. Approve minutes of the regular meeting of the council for October 2nd, 2023. Item B is a budget amendment. Approve budget amendment for fiscal year 2023-2024 as shown in Exhibit A to the council agenda. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion we approve items A and B as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Item number 7 is a monthly update from the fire chief. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve receiving a monthly update from the fire chief. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve receiving a monthly update from our fire chief.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Chief, what do you got for us tonight?
Oh, sorry about that. I got delayed out there. The police officers were wanting to borrow some firefighter costumes for. They wanted to dress like they're heroes, so I was trying to coordinate with that. They're not even listening. For the month of September, relatively normal. 324 total responses. We only had one car fire, so our property loss was at 0. We're about this same number of responses this time as we were last year. Our response times are still pretty good, 4 minutes, 39 seconds. We are planning, along with the city, with Trunk or Treat and Del Quest. We have parts in all those, so we're working with that. One of the things that we started in September with, we did a 2-year contract with our union, and at the second year of the contract included a physical fitness assessment incentive based on their age and where they fit in that category. And we had about half the department, so we had 32 guys eligible, about half tested, and about a third of the department received some sort of assessment, received some sort of incentive. So that was good for them. We want them to be here, be healthy, but we also want them to maintain that lifestyle and retire healthy. So we got some good results with it. Attended several neighborhood watch events, Midway Village, Hartsdale. Been, like I said, staying pretty busy. We just finished Fire Prevention Week, had some tours, some presentations, and Pafford, staying busy. Priority 1 responses was right about 6 minutes, 13 seconds, so still good numbers with that. Other than that, that's pretty much what we've got from the fire department. Unless y'all have anything for us?
Chief, are you working on your decorating for the contest, or?
I can't reveal our secrets, but yes, we are working on that.
I'm hoping to see some spirited activity with the decoration.
Oh, it is, as long as they play fair, we don't mind, but when they start cheating, then it becomes a little.
You're
It's
talking
all
about
inside.
City Hall now, right?
I'm talking, oh yeah, definitely City Hall. Thank
Where's
y'all.
Brittany? Oh, there she is. All right, thank you, Chief. Item number 8 is purchase 2 2024 staff vehicles and equipment upfitting for the fire department. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny the purchase of 2 Ford F-250 pickup trucks from Vance Ford from state contract number SW035 and vehicle upfitting including emergency lighting equipment, bed shell, cab radio, console, and related equipment from Metro Emergency Upfitters, LLC, on state contract SW142 at a price not to exceed $200,000 for both vehicles and upfitting. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to approve as written, price not to exceed $200,000 for both vehicles and upfitting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
The mayor votes aye. The motion is carried. Chief, you got your 2 new trucks. Yes, sir. Item number 9 is memorandum of understanding with the City of Midwest City Surface Transportation Block Grant Program, Urbanized Area. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny the memorandum of understanding with the City of Midwest City for a project funded by Service Transportation Block Grant Program, Urbanized Area, STBG-UZA, which Midwest City intends to apply for federal funds through ACOG to improve the signals on the shared municipal corporate boundary located at the intersections of Sooner Road and Northeast 10th Street and Sooner Road and Reno Avenue. Authorize mayor to endorse same. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion that we approve the memorandum of understanding with the City of Midwest City and authorize the mayor to endorse the same.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Item number 10 is an engagement letter for fiscal year 2022-2023 audit. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny engaging Arledge and Associates PC to prepare the annual financial audit and compilation report for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2023, not to exceed the cost of $19,200. The single audit will be $5,000 for the first major program and $3,500 for each additional major program. Authorize mayor to endorse the engagement letter. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve engaging Artledge and Associate PC to prepare a financial audit and compilation report for the fiscal year ending in June 30th, 2023, not to exceed the cost of $19,200. Also, authorize mayor to endorse the engagement letter.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Item number 11 is renewal of liability, fleet, and property insurance. We'll take these each singly, and we'll do A first, and it's discussion, consideration, possible action to A, approve renewal of property insurance with OMAG in the total amount of $154,902. The city's share is $77,451, and DCMSA's share is $77,451 for the period of November 1, 2023 through October 31st, 2024. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion, we approve item A as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
I'd like to take this time right now to thank Melissa for finding these savings for us and really pushing for this.
Good
So,
job.
Thank you, Melissa.
And JD was part of that too.
Would you give them the grand total after all three of these are complete, how much cost savings we're doing this fiscal year alone?
Okay.
Wait, maybe we shouldn't tell them that, that way they don't, yeah.
No, we know. We're good. Okay, let's take the vote. Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. We'll move on to item 11B. Approve renewal of liability fleet insurance with OMAG in the total amount of $112,994. City's share is $56,497, and DCMSA's share is $56,497 for the period November 1, 2023 through October 31st, 2024. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Move on to item C. We're at 11C. Approve renewal of liability insurance for law enforcement, public officials, and employment practices and equipment with OMAG in the total amount of $53,313. The city's share is $43,067.50, and DCMSA's share is $9,245.50 for the period of November 1, 2023 through October 31st, 2024. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion, we approve item C as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Move on to item number 12. Donation Dale Quest Program hosted by the Dale City Chamber of Commerce. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny or approve with modification a donation from the City of Dale City in the amount of $3,800 for the Dale Quest program hosted by the Dale City Chamber of Commerce. Direct staff accordingly. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion that we approve a donation in the amount of $3,800 for the Dale Quest program hosted by the Dale City Chamber of Commerce and direct staff accordingly.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Attorney, should we say that this is also a public purpose or anything like that?
I would say it's probably going to, let's say a public purpose.
You want to declare a public purpose?
I'll
Would you amend your motion to include declare a public purpose?
I'll amend my motion to include declare a public purpose.
Pam, will you amend
Yes,
your
and I'll
second?
amend my second.
Public purpose. Okay. Now we have a motion and a second. Dale Quest, if people that aren't familiar with Dale Quest, is a program that we invite junior year students from the high schools, all the high schools in Dale City, and the homeschool in that program too. Everyone that's a junior in high school is eligible for this program. We take all these applicants. They have to come and have an interview and pass an interview in order to be enrolled into the program. The program teaches these students real life skills, finances, budgeting, how to prepare for a job interview, how to work on a resume, all these skills that a person needs to be successful in the real world. And it's an excellent program. How many years have we done this, Josh? Do you know off the top of your head?
We have done it for 14 years.
14
This
years.
is the 14th year that it's been done.
Very good. And this is going to be the best year.
That's right.
All right. Thank you, Josh. So, we have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy?
Aye.
Councilman Finch?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Brown?
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Good luck with that program, Josh. And JD's involved in that too. Very good. Item number 13, determining the dilapidation of properties. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve and ratify or deny the classification of dilapidation of SED properties below in accordance with Dale City Code Section 553 and Oklahoma Statute Title 11, Section 22-112. We'll take these one at a time. The first one we're going to do is 1900 Cherry Lane. The owner is Legacy Investment Holdings, LLC. It is zoned R1D. Do I hear a motion? Discussion. We can start with
I'd
discussion.
like to open a
Make-
discussion on
Make a
item
motion
A.
for discussion and we can do that.
I'd like to make a motion, we open a discussion for item A.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion for discussion only on item A. Any discussion on the motion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy?
Aye.
Councilman Finch? Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Brown?
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The discussion is open and we're talking about 1900 Cherry Lane. Mr. Dunk Tank, what do you got for us?
A cold night in my future.
Yes.
Good evening, council. So with 1900 Cherry Lane, this is a property that currently resides within regulatory floodway, which means that there's additional hoops that would need to be jumped through if anybody wished to attempt to try to bring this property back into any kind of compliance. They would need to get engineering. They would need to make sure that there's zero rise, meaning that any construction that they do both before and after would not negatively impact any of their neighbors by dispersing any of that water. And it would also need to be, the structure itself would need to be elevated 30 inches above the base floodplain elevation. So if that base floodplain elevation is estimated to be at 8 inches, that building will need to be elevated to 38 inches, just as standard for floodplain and floodway regulatory. As you can see in the photos that were provided, it is a building that is in massive disrepair, holes through the house, routinely broken into, been boarded up over multiple years. Due to all of these reasons, we do believe that the building is in a dilapidated state and we recommend it to be declared such.
Very good. Sir,
Has it flooded, has the property been underwater?
I am not familiar with events before my hire. I do know that for that particular floodplain, it is in the 100-year floodway event. I am not familiar, but I cannot say yea or nay to that, unfortunately.
okay. Is there anyone else that'd like to speak on this house? Yes, sir. Step to the podium. Identify yourself to the city clerk.
My name is Logan Roundtree, and I am a representative of Legacy Investment Holdings, the owner of aforementioned property. We are taking the proper steps at the moment to try to resolve all the issues that are at hand. In my hand, I do hold a flood certificate that we have had done on this property, and we would like to have the opportunity to push forward on this one and bring it back to a really nice state to help Dell City move forward with making its properties look a lot better. We understand that this one has been a problem for quite some time, and I have an email chain as well that has gone back about a year and a half to where we have worked with you guys trying to figure out a couple of things that even you guys have mentioned to us, hey, we're unsure. let's get back with you, and we would check in at least once a month through that to try to figure it out. And we have just recently gotten to a point where we have made progress on that. So all I will ask on this house is if you guys would consider these things and give us a chance to try to turn this around.
How long have you owned it?
I believe it's been at least a year and a half. I've only been with the company since March and has taken over their project manager for certain projects like this. So my guess, to be honest with you guys, is about a year and a half.
Have you put together a plan of renovation?
We do have a scope of work that I can present as well that just kind of outlines everything that we're doing here in detail. If you would like me to bring it to you, I'd be happy.
Could you read that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you have this part and we can get to work, and how long should it take to?
Sure, absolutely. So working through this is still the time frame that we're unsure about, is making the phone calls, making sure that this is all set up in the proper ways and the proper channels. As for construction, it should take us less than 2 months. We would replace the roof, soffit and fascia, interior paint, exterior paint, carpentry with the trim, appliances, flooring, LVP throughout the home. We want to redo the windows, exterior doors, siding repair, get a junk haul, make sure that the property is all cleaned up and taken care of. Kitchen remodel, clean up the exterior, an electrical upgrade with a panel upgrade, wiring to code with a licensed electrician. Plumbing, R&R faucets, drains, stops, all the valves that we need to redo, we can have that taken care of. Bathroom, inserting a new vanity, toilet, and tub surround, repairing the subfloor, repairing drywall throughout, as well as installing a whole new HVAC system, and we do have a budget as well for miscellaneous items that do pop up.
Is everything inside the house, or are you doing anything outside the house?
Most everything should be interior minus, exterior paint, some roofing repairs that might need to be done, and some exterior doors.
There's a lot of roofing repair that
Yes,
needs
ma'am.
to be done
Yes,
there. And how long did you say it was gonna take you guys?
Our goal on this, once we figure this out, would be 2 months.
Okay, and what are you guys doing right now to keep that property cleaned up?
So we have a lawn care and junk haul rotation. I'm unsure where it was hit last or when it was hit last because I do not have those things in front of me, but we do have it on a regular rotation to be hit at least once every 3 weeks.
This house is in my ward. It's been on my radar since I have been on council. So I know it's been dilapidated. I know it's been vacant. I know that it's boarded up now, but the boarding has come off before and people have broke into it. So 2 months more to at least 6 years plus to add to this property. Has all this stuff been taken out of the backyard also?
I am unsure at this very moment.
So JD, how does the FEMA set with this? Can they rebuild on this property or?
So whatever we do, because it's in the floodway, floodplain, everything is just kind of, Cherry Creek is just a problem. Everything we have to do, both on his level and at our level, is quite a few federal hoops that we have to jump through. Kelly, is that an accurate statement?
That is, and while he has an estimate, he also recommended to fix approximately 50% of the
Right.
estimate value of the home, then it can't be rehabilitated.
And with it being in its dilapidated state, the value of the home is decreased significantly of what it could have been in its heyday, which would have done that. So even, we tried working with them through the 2020 timeframe whenever the housing market was quite inflated to get those numbers up higher to see what we could do. So now it's a matter of trying to meet all of the federal requirements while still trying to be as generous as we can to allow them to get their process done. So my question for you, is it not better to raise and remove the structure and restart from ground zero? Is it even feasible once it gets removed to even be replaced?
It is feasible. It does. She is correct. It does add a little bit of additional cost. So, given we understand the gravity of the situation, and if it gets to a point where we need to remedy the structure in the way of removing the structure, we would be happy to take care of something like that when it gets to that point. But we would like a chance to try to save this if possible.
So, listening to your list of things, I don't hear of anything that's going to be extremely expensive for the remodel
Right
And-
now, I have the total rehab cost set at 45,000.
at 45,000.
And if the property itself is only valued at 50, then he would only be allowed to do 25,000 worth of repairs to meet FEMA's requirements. So that's where we are. Can the property be appraised at 100,000 or 90,000 to get to his 45? And that's what he's working on with staff. That doesn't necessarily have to be discussed up here, but that's what he's working on.
I don't know if legally we're at the right spot. Because right now, is the home condemned? The home is condemned?
I believe we worked with the previous owner of the property trying to get it worked out.
And the property has changed hands on more than one occasion because of these particular setbacks from the federal side.
And he is correct. They did reach out to us several times last year trying to figure out the process to bring the property into compliance. We discussed then several of the issues that were involved in this particular property, the cost of the rehabilitation, the floodway issues. So with the loan, you're going to be hard pressed.
Absolutely.
We could definitely table it if you choose to allow him until the 20th council meeting, if you choose to do that, to let him provide us a true cost estimate of what that
I-
rehabilitation is. And we would know for sure.
Excuse me just a second. Let's look at it like this. As a council, we could authorize staff to work with the gentleman, and if it becomes feasible to rehabilitate the building, then rehabilitate it. However, if it is not feasible to rehabilitate the building, then give staff the authority to condemn the house and remove it. Or you could remove it at your cost.
Yes, sir.
Can you work with that, Kelly?
Mr. Mayor, I think it would be cleaner rather than authorize a future action. I think it'd be cleaner to table this and put it on November 20th and then make a black and white determination by the council.
Okay, all right, we can do
So
that.
was this property actually condemned at the council? Or was this condemned from your side? So I'm asking these questions because going through the different parts of the floodplain is if your building burns down over 50%, if the tornado comes through and 50%, if it is gone over 50%, I don't believe that administrative condemnation is the same as a council condemnation. Council, whenever the council does it, it's done and it's gone. No, what I'm saying is the issue is that you're having to deal with this floodplain. He can get his building and this house redone nicely and all the rest, and the only thing that we're doing is because of it being administratively condemned, we're now saying that you have to use this 50% rule. I don't believe that it's right, because if the house is not condemned, it didn't burn, it didn't get destroyed, then you should be able to repair your house and get it back to a marketable thing. If we go down to 50% rule and go down FEMA, is he's going to not only have to, of course, raise the stuff, he needs to now go and find some property that is upstream or downstream of this thing to dig out and remove the same amount of material that his house is going to be taken up. And that's what what James was saying is in some of these parts is that you have to do a lot of work. So if we go down the FEMA part or think that it's easier just to go and demolish this house, we're going to end up with a vacant lot for the rest of our time. And I think it would be better if we can work with the homeowner to go down the route of rehabilitating this one and checking to see where we're actually at legally. Because if the council hasn't done it, I'm hoping that there is a way out.
This is in Ward 2, Pam. What do you want to do here? You want to table this till November the 20th? Okay, I'll entertain him.
I would like to address one thing real quick, though. Councilmember Dean, I do not believe that the condemnation has any standing with whether or not the 50% rule is applied. It is due to the fact that the building itself, period, is in a floodplain. It applies to whether or not a building is currently occupied, whether or not it's condemned or vacant. A hypothetical building within a floodplain, even if they're wanting to do repairs or improvements on their own, would only be able to do so up to 50% of the estimated value of that structure. Whether it's occupied or not is unfortunately irrelevant.
We've spent enough time on this. If we can table this till the 20th, you come back with an itemized repair and cost estimates
Yes, sir.
and what you think the estimated value of the house will be afterwards.
Absolutely.
Bring that back November the 20th. Staff will work with you on that. I would entertain a motion to table this till November 20th.
Make a motion, we table item A until November the 20th.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Sir, you come back November the 20th with a workable plan, and we will look at it at that time.
Wonderful. Thank you, council. Have a
Yes,
great
sir.
day.
Thank you, Logan. Move on to item number B, 3201 Lazy Lane. The owner is America Iqua, yeah. It's zoned R1D. I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we open a discussion on item B.
That'll work.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to open a discussion. Any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The discussion is open. Sir, what do you have for us?
So what we have here for this property, 3201 Lazy Lane, is a property that is routinely overgrown. Anytime during the summer, grass usually routinely gets up to 2-3 feet in height. We have a building that has been routinely broken into and needed to be boarded up and secured multiple times. Multiple structure fires, 2 structure fires, one in 2012, one in 2017. As far as I'm aware, we've had no contact from the owner regarding any of this property, no submissions for any type of reoccupancy inspections or any type of permit to try to get the property back into compliance. Due to the nature of the structure, we do believe that it is a public health detriment, and we are here to present the case for its removal.
All right. Thank you, James. Is there anybody here that would like to speak on behalf of 3201 Lazy Lane? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion for 3201 Lazy Lane.
I'll make a motion that we approve and ratify the dilapidation of 3201 Lazy Lane.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Motion is passed. Move on to item number C. We're at 13C, 4508 Southeast 19th Street. The owner is Tom and F. Campbell. This is zoned R1D. I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we open a discussion on item C.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Finch. Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The discussion is now open. James, what do you got for us?
So this property, 4508 Southeast 19th Street, very similar. It is not, exterior-wise, it is relatively decent. We have had issues, though, where the property was needing to be boarded up and secured, and it has, again, been broken into a couple different times, as evidenced in the photos that were provided. We do believe that this, due to the fact that it has been boarded up and broken into and needing to be secured again, that it is now becoming detrimental to the health, welfare, and safety of that particular area of the neighborhood.
Any contact with owners?
No contact with the owners as far as I'm aware. We have done an abatement at the property once or twice for removing tree limbs and cutting of the grass.
All right. Is there anybody that would like to speak on behalf of 4508 Southeast 19th Street? Is there anybody here tonight? Okay. I would entertain a motion on this property.
I'll make a motion that we approve and ratify a dilapidation of 4508 Southeast 19th Street.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Council.
I would like to, we have no other option at this point. This is a property that could potentially be rehabilitated. There is no other option from the city's perspective, correct? Okay.
He answered himself.
How about, do we know, if the taxes weren't paid or anything else, is there a way to get the sheriffs to do a tax sale?
Notification was sent out for this.
Right, it's for this part, but the question is maybe they haven't been paying their property taxes, and then that way, we could have this thing sold. It looks like it's at least the outside looks nice.
There's a simple answer from the city's perspective. There may be alternatives for the property, but not from the city's angle. There's nothing more we can do for it.
Got it.
And if that was found, so if it was found out that there was some way to get this thing to a tax lien sale done, could we stop it once we declare this part? To stop the demolition?
Yes, and the time frame that it moves forward is solely up to the council. So you can declare it and tear it down now. You can declare it and say it's going to be torn down in 6 months. So you have options on what's to happen, but there's no way for us to control whether it goes to a tax sale. There's no way for us to control how that happens.
We can't sell it. We can't offer it as a marketable property because we don't have title to it.
That's
So
100% correct.
our only option is to knock it down or live with it.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I definitely don't think we should put a time limit on it. I think
Yeah,
just
let's-
declare it and let them deal with it,
Yes,
let's see.
continue on.
Okay.
So your motion, restate your motion.
My motion is to declare and ratify the dilapidation of 4508 Southeast 19th Street.
And you second. All right, very good. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy?
Aye.
Councilman Finch?
Aye.
Councilman Dean? Councilman Brown?
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. We'll move on to item number D. It's 4760 Southeast 28th Street. The owner is Charles and Mary Brown, and it is zoned R1D. I would entertain a motion for this property.
Make a motion, we open a discussion on item D.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy?
Aye.
Councilman Brown?
Aye.
Councilman Finch?
Aye.
Councilman Dean? Mayor votes aye. The discussion is now open on 4760 Southeast 28th Street. What do you got, James?
So what we have here is a property that has been neglected for a significant period of time. It is a property that has been boarded up since at least 2012. That is as far back as our photos have documented, but it has been boarded up entirely since the year of 2012. There's been no occupancy. There's been no. It's been entirely vacant the entire time. Property does appear that it has been unsecured in recent photos. Currently unsure if anybody is actually trying to get in or not, but it certainly does not look good through that window, and I'm not willing to stick my head in to try to find out. What we do believe, due to the significant nature of the building and its boarding, and the fact that we have had no contact with the owner, no attempt to try to rehabilitate the house, due to its nature being so close to 29th Street, to major areas of the city there, for the health, welfare, and safety of that particular spot, we would request the dilapidation.
We understand there's a rodent problem from that house.
I would not be surprised.
Thank you.
Is the fence, it looks like we've got a problem here with the fence, but it's right next to those huge trash cans. So is that the property owner's fence, or is that a business fence?
So as it does back up to a business, I do know that commercial properties do have the responsibility to maintain a site-proof fence when boarding when abutting to a neighbor, to a
Have we
neighborhood.
contacted the business about getting that repaired then?
That is currently being in the works.
How long has that been in the works?
I am not super familiar, as that was not specifically my area, but I can certainly look into that. I'd probably say a couple months-ish or so.
I wouldn't doubt that some of those rodents are probably coming from those huge trash cans, those dumpsters back there. Is that a restaurant that's back there? It is a restaurant?
I think there is a restaurant in there. I don't know if it is
It is.
entirely a restaurant or.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, this house has been in sad repair since, did you say 2012? 2012, that's 11 years that house has been sitting.
And just to add to this, we have attempted to make contact with the owners on many, many, many occasions. Even in my previous position, I reached out, Kelly Wilbanks has reached out, now Code has reached out, trying to get a hold of these folks. And the information we have ties back to a location that nobody responds, so we don't, have we heard anything about them from anyone, anywhere? Okay.
Jackie, would you like to speak?
Yes, Jackie Mooney, 4833 Delview Drive, Del City. This is one of the properties that I have been keeping my eye on since I was on the council. I'm a regular attendee at Madison's Restaurant. The building was to be raised, I believe, back in 2019, and I understand COVID kind of put a glitch in that, and you guys had to start over again. I know Hemet, I don't know his last name, is interested in purchasing the property. He needs it for parking. The rodent issue is coming from the house and not the trash cans. He is in constant contact with people coming in to remediate all the rodents. He's contacted people around the neighborhood. They also are having trouble with the rodent problem in their homes. He is very interested in purchasing the property only. He would like to put a parking lot in there and then clean that up because the rodent issue is terrible. He's got rat traps all over the place, and that's pretty unsightly to have around a restaurant. Let's see if anything. He didn't need the building. Let's see if there's another note I have. Extermination is causing him a problem, parking issues, and just like I said, I think that's about it. I've been tracking it for quite a while.
Thank you.
Thank
Jackie.
you.
Yeah, this house has been a problem for some time, so I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve and ratify a dilapidation of 4760 Southeast 28th Street.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. We're going to move on to item number 14, assess abatement costs to property owners. I'm going to read this as a motion to ratify the assessment costs in a total amount of $12,836.78 to property owners. That will be in the form of a motion as I read this. Discussion, consideration, possible action, approve or ratify or deny and remove assessment costs in a total amount of $12,836.78 to property owners for cleanup of property previously abated in accordance with the Del City Code sections 13-106 through 13-114. My motion will be to ratify the assessment. Item A is 213 Burke Drive. The owner is Bonnie Derrick G. of Del City, Oklahoma. The total expenses are $494.54. Property B is 1408 Mallard Drive. The owner is Thorson Carolyn K. of Del City, Oklahoma. The total expenses were $2,969.54. Property C is 1800 Lariat Lane. The owner is Sunrise Property Solutions, LLC of Oklahoma City. The total expenses are $2,569.54. Property D is 1900 Lariat Lane. The owner is Miller, Rita R., and Paul R. of Oklahoma City. The total expenses are $2,169.54. Property E is 3120 Delview Drive. The owner is Alexander D. of Dell City, Oklahoma. The total expenses are $1,169.54. Property F is 4409 Southeast 39th Street. The owner is Lauer Ivan L. of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. The total expenses are $1,319.54. Property G is 4800 Tate Drive. The owner is Bean Joel Michael of Dell City. The total expenses are $2,144.54. Those are all of the properties. My motion is that we ratify and assess the expenses.
Second.
Second.
I think Kyle Gandy was a little faster on that. Okay. All right. Any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Move on to item number 15, purchase of 5 2024 staff vehicles for community development. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve with modification, or deny the purchase of 5 vehicles for the community development unit in the total amount not to exceed $160,770. All vehicles will be purchased at or below the state contract pricing through Bob Moore Ford. Okay. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? It's my understanding that the vehicles currently used by the community development group are going to be transferred over to the Public Works Department, so we're not just exactly starting from scratch. We're going to send some pretty nice trucks over to Public Works. Is that correct? Okay, all right.
What age are the trucks that we will be replacing at Public Works? Do we know?
Oh, they've got some old ones over
I mean,
there.
I've seen 2000s, so,
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Yeah. What we're doing is reallocating the trucks to where they're needed. They need trucks. Community Development doesn't need a big truck. They can operate out of a smaller, cheaper vehicle. So, all right. Thank you, Kelly. All right. We have a motion and a second. Let's take the vote. Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Rather than going to 16, the executive session, I will entertain a motion to recess to the DCMSA.
Make a motion, we recess to DCMSA.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. We are now recessed to the Dale City Municipal Services Authority. I call the Municipal Services Authority to order. Melissa, would you call the roll?
Trustee Gandy.
Here.
Trustee Brown.
Here.
Trustee Finch.
Here.
Trustee Dean.
Here.
And Chairman Eason.
All right, thank you, Melissa. Mayor's here, Chairman's here. Sorry. I was reading what he was putting down beside me. Sorry, got distracted. Is there anybody from the public that would like to address the DCMSA on non-agenda items? Yes, Brittany. Oh, all right. State your name again, please.
Ken Harton.
Okay.
I have a question about our new water meters. I've been told that these new water meters count every drop that goes through, which I guess is great for you and tough for me. But how is the billing going to be now? I know that I'm going to be billed for the water, but am I going to see on my bills the amount of water I use as opposed to the way it's done now where they just give me a 1, a 2, a 3 on?
Those are 1,000 gallons. So if it's a one,
Right,
it's
but
it's
if I
1,000.
use 1,280 gallons,
You
you're
wanna
gonna
see
bill
the
me for that.
exact number.
Am I gonna be able to see it's 1,280
You break the billing out by
gallons?
thousands, don't you? Brittany's gonna answer that. Step up to the microphone, please, so the people at home can hear.
When we get enough hard data after everyone gets their meter, all 4 zones, this company actually has a customer portal where you will be able to log in, and yes, you will be able to see your usage in real time. You'll be able to see your usage, the water temperature, everything. We are hoping to roll that out like in December, January timeframe. Like I said, we don't want to roll it out if there's not data in there, but yes, you will be able to monitor all of that.
The reason I was asking that was I thought that if you're gonna be doing it by the thousands of gallons, at some point you're gonna have to either round up or round down. And my question was gonna be, where are you gonna round at and how am I gonna know? And so,
So the billing process itself isn't going to change. That's how we bill right now, is by the 1,000 gallons.
Right.
And so that's why sometimes your usage might look a little bit higher than what you think it should, because if you use 900 gallons, we're gonna bill you for 0, because it hasn't rolled over 1,000. Well, then once you get to 1,001, even though you've only used 1 gallon, it will reflect as 1 on the bill. Does that make sense? Yeah, so that process is not going to change.
okay,
Yep.
y'all have cut out my long, hot showers.
Brittany, there was also a question if we have raised our fees and if we are charging our customers for this new. That's quite all right, and that's why you're here to get the right answers, Ken.
Yeah, that has been asked and answered in the past. Thank you. Okay, anybody else like to address the DCMSA on non-agenda items? Moving along. Trustees, any non-agenda items? No? Managers report.
Already given, and what you were each provided was just an update of the general things happening around our DCMSA staff so that you can look at that at your leisure. Unfortunately, Director Hatfield couldn't be with us this evening.
Okey-doke. Item number 5 is minutes. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the DCMSA of October 2, 2023. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion, we approve the minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Trustee Gandy.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Finch.
Aye.
Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. The motion carries. Item number 6 is discussion only. Project update on AMI water meters. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny holding a discussion only regarding an update on the upcoming AMI water meter project. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion that we hear a discussion only over the water.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Finch.
Aye.
Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Trustee Gandy.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. The motion carries. Brittany, what you got for us?
So just to address both of those concerns on a microphone for everyone at home, no, water rates have not increased at all, and customers are not paying for this project. This was paid for by American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA money. This has been in the works for quite some time, so no, there is no rollover cost to the customers. As of this morning, they have 2,308 meters installed. They're reading at about 99.6%. As of this morning, they had the list of about 21 that they weren't getting reads for, which was that 0.5%, and they were going to go out and check all of those today. That could just be an endpoint wasn't put on or it moved. So they still have 3 crews in town. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this week, they will be working in Zone 3. Friday, they will start Zone 4. A lot of those will have to be scheduled because those are our business accounts. They are going to be very mindful of the businesses, and If there's businesses that are open 8 to 5, they will change the meter out after 5 o'clock. Any of our fast food restaurants that are open all the time, they will go in and make contact with the manager and make sure that that's scheduled. We have billed part of Zone 1 already as of about a week ago. There were around 1,000 people who did receive bills for their new meters. Utility billing is doing a phenomenal job of working with these customers. If people have questions or concerns, I really haven't had many bounce up to me that are not resolved in the utility billing office. So shout out to those ladies in there, they're killing it.
What's that, Zone 1 actually?
As of last week.
And with the right time period for it to be the new period?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Do we have a feel at all for what the increase in usage? I know we were afraid of the old meters being inaccurate. Do we know?
According to the report that Summer pulled, we're not seeing a significant increase yet, so we're hoping that we stay steady with that. I think that we talked about at the last meeting, we are already identifying leaks as these new meters are going into the ground. If there's usage running for a certain period of time, we are taking the proactive approach, and Waterline Maintenance is going and knocking on the door and making contact with these customers, figuring out what's going on. If it is a leak that they were maybe unaware of, we are taking the proper steps to help those customers and not financially penalizing them for leaks that they didn't know about. So this system has already proven to be great for the customers as well. That's really all I have. Oh, and they have not broken any equipment in this. The installers are being very cautious. They are kicking back a lot of addresses back to Waterline Maintenance if they need to be vacuumed or anything like that, because they don't want to break equipment, because as discussed at the last meeting, we are running into part shortages. So they are being very mindful of that, so we do appreciate that. All in all, Zone 1 was going to take the longest just because they were our oldest. Once they finish Zone 1, which they're anticipating being done by the end of the week, they think that they're going to fly through the rest of the zone. So hopefully we're going to start making really, really good progress on this project.
All right, thank you. Mhm.
Brittany, are we about halfway done, or did you say a third?
A fourth.
Fourth?
Yeah, probably about a quarter, yeah. Thank you.
Move on to item number 7, renewal of liability, fleet, and property insurance. Discussion, consideration, possible action to item A. Approve renewal of property insurance with OMAG in the total amount of $154,902. City's share is $77,451, and DCMSA's share is $77,451 for the period of November 1, 2023 through October 31st, 2024. Do I hear a motion on item A?
Make a motion, we approve item A as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Trustee Gandy.
Aye.
Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Trustee Finch.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. The motion carries. Move on to item B. We're at 7B. Approve renewal of liability fleet insurance with OMAG in the total amount of $112,994. The city's share is $56,497, and DCMSA's share is $56,497 for the period November 1, 2023 through October 31, 2024. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion, we approve item B as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Finch.
Aye.
Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Trustee Gandy.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. The motion carries. Move on to item C. We're at 7C. Approve renewal of liability insurance for law enforcement, public officials, and employment practices and equipment with OMAG in the total amount of $52,313. City's share is $43,067.50. DCMSA's share is $9,245.50 for the period November 1, 2023 through October 31st, 2024. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion, we approve item C as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Trustee Gandy.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Finch.
Aye.
Trustee Dean. Chairman votes aye, the motion carries. Is there any further trust input?
Make a motion, we adjourn to Del City City Council.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Take the vote. Trustee Gandy.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Finch.
Aye.
Trustee Dean.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. We are now adjourned from DCMSA and we're returning back to the Del City City Council. We are now at item number 16, executive session, pending claims and actions. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny recessing to executive session pursuant to the Oklahoma Open Meeting Act 25 OS 301 for the purpose of discussion concerning confidential matters pertaining to pending investigations, claims, actions pursuant to 25 OS 307B4, as the council, on the advice of its attorney, has determined that the disclosure will seriously impair the ability of the council to process the claim or conduct a pending investigation or litigation in the public interest. City attorney, do these criteria meet the requirements for executive session?
Mayor, yes, they do.
I will entertain a motion to recess to executive session.
Make a motion, we recess to executive session.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Finch. Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. We are now recessed to executive session. Still have